These niggas feel what jealousy. I'm doing good, that's what they envy me. This girl is in my memory. Oh, for I get your felony.
What is up, you guys? Sage here, and yeah, today we're gonna go through some of the not so popular, the more controversial things that we've put out there, and we're gonna expand on those a little bit. Um, yeah, I think we should start at the bottom, or as close to the bottom as we can get. Okay, start with this one. Start strong. It is important to be strong as well as to cultivate thought. If you don't have the strength to defend your idea, you don't have an idea. If we are talking, you say 1+1 is 2, I say 1+1 is 4. You say, no, it's 2. I give you a look. I raise my voice. I said, hey, I said it's 4. Then 1+1 is 4. He who controls the current time, he who controls the present, controls the past, and controls the future. He who controls the present controls the past. He who controls the past controls the future. Okay? So you must have the strength to defend your ideas, or else they will be lost. Let's move it on up. That was not really controversial. I said no one is coming to save us. We must save ourselves. This is why entrepreneurship is needed. To learn to own boats. Formal education teaches us at best to be the best fisherman on another man's boat. Ours is to learn and teach how to manufacture and sail a successful fishing boat. Yeah. I think that's a strong one. And a strong analogy that I heard today as well was to rediscover our wealth as a people, as an African people in particular. Because if you look at the wealth, right, throughout the world, Africa is actually the richest in real fundamental wealth, right? We have land, we have good weather, we have places where you can grow crops, you can harvest, your livestock will survive, etc. Right? We have very conducive conditions to all of that stuff, but that's not considered wealth, right? They're words for these different types of wealth. But anyway, the next level of wealth is like productive wealth, which is like you produce a lot, which is like your China, which makes a lot of things, and then they're wealthy because of that. And then the third level is it's just imaginative wealth. This is wealth that doesn't really, it's not really founded on anything. It's founded on stories. It's founded on I made this painting and I wept as I painted it, as I was drawing upon the artistic whatever of my ancestors. Boom, you take that. Now that painting is worth 500 million. It took you a week to make, and with that 500 million, you can employ 200 people who are going to work for you for the rest of their lives. So what took you 1 week is worth 20 people's lives, which is not really, doesn't really make sense. Versus in the fundamental wealth, the African people will say, okay, no, I'll give you 1 cow if you give me 3 goats. I'll give you 3 goats, give me 10 chickens. That's my chickens are gonna do something for you. My goat's gonna do. It makes sense. So in the true fundamental foundation of wealth, African people are the richest, and there is a rediscovering of that needs to happen. But that's aside from what I was saying here. What I was saying here was basically that even though we have moved away from this, and we've moved more onto this, and the richest places don't really have the natural resources, but they have this cultivative, figurative wealth, this money, the stuff that doesn't really exist. Even to operate within those systems, we're not being equipped with the tools that we need to get there. So it's ours to equip ourselves with those tools, grow in those industries, and then in our growth we will learn things. It's not just to pass on the money, but to pass on the lessons, to pass on the ideas, to pass on the tools to build, to continue to build on these establishments that we have to learn how to build first ourselves. Just a thought. Let's get into this one as well, which is, it will forever haunt me that there's a version of South African history that only exists in spoken word and will one day be lost entirely. A lot of black history is subject to this. My fear is that we will unknowingly repeat the mistakes of our ancestors. Yeah, you know, when I wrote this, I actually didn't realize like the depth in what I was saying. I mean, I was saying it because I felt it, but there's a lot there was a lot to unpack there in terms of what I'm going to get into later on. In fact, let's head straight to that now, and then I think we'll close on that. Not really bother making today's video too long now. The UAE are a collective of kingdoms. The Sheikh owns the land. The United Kingdom has a monarch. The king owns the land. In China, the state owns the land. In Russia, the majority is the state. It is Africa and her leaders that have been stripped of their land and their power. They blind us with democracy. When we were fighting in the struggle, we were fighting for land. And at the end, we got the right to vote and we celebrated. You see how they move the goalpost, and we end up not only being defeated, but celebrating our own defeat. That honestly, you can't you have no choice but to give it up and be like, wow, you know what, brilliant, right? These people have a king. We had kings and queens, and we were urged to move away from this. Choose democracy rather. Democracy is much better. Democracy is very young. Democracy is extremely young, and we see what that's doing to the Americans today in real time. Democracy is no older than, okay, I'm not going to just throw random numbers out there, but understand that democracy is very young, and it's something that you can exercise in places like your Switzerland, your whatever, because the base level of education across the board is at a certain level, right? Say within your home, democracy is the 2-year-old twins, the 12-year-old and the 30-year-old all get equal right to vote as to what happened. And the two twins are saying, no, you know what, we're not gonna cook, we're gonna eat sweets for the rest of the week, and there are two of them, so they're out voting because the teenagers like, no, do you know what, okay, in terms of what to do with the family business, the 2-year-olds are like, no, let's sell the family business so you can buy sweets, and the 12-year-old is saying, yeah, no, just sell this thing so I can like buy a car, and but the 30-year-old has been through life, and they're thinking, no, let's keep the family business, let's grow it so that we can and this person actually has more of a perspective to vote from, right? Whereas these people are voting from ignorance. So that's the issue fundamentally with democracy in these nations, is we need to first get the base level of education to a certain point, and then everyone can have an equal say, right? When all of us get older, when the 2-year-olds are now, 30, and the 30-year-old is, do you get what I'm trying to say? Then we can get to points where, okay, now everyone can speak equally. But fundamentally, my point with this was, not only have we been stripped of our land, but we've been duped. We've been hit with a bait and switch, which is, guys, here's this thing where everyone has this equality and this and that, and we've lost sight of what we actually wanted. Furthermore, even the democracy that we have is owned by another people who are paying these politicians to push certain narratives above others. We are working to serve, because the land is owned by these people, the businesses are owned by these people. Our energy is being used to serve who? To serve the people who own the businesses and who own the land. So our labor is actually feeding into their monarchs, into their kingdoms, right? Because they know the value of having a king, a queen, the value of having that kind of a system, and the merit of it, because it's been tested and it's withstood the test of time all throughout. And they get to keep these things, and they tell us to relinquish them. Truly an injustice. But anyway, let's shut it down there for today, guys. Love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Sage, signing out.